Hello, and welcome to another edition of Beyond the Real. My name is Alex, and today we'll be talking about Loki. So, Loki premiered this week, episode 1, and it was interesting. I liked it. It was a little slow to start, but I feel like it just kept getting weirder, and I feel like it's giving us a lot of information to lay a very solid foundation of the groundwork for what's to come in the show. So I will be talking freely about this, so this will include spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it, or if you just don't care, then continue to hang out. So it seems like the basis of the show is going to follow Loki, obviously, and he's going to help Agent Morbus, played by Owen Wilson, much to the disdain of others, to track down a variant, which we learn is someone who disrupts a timeline and is considered dangerous. And the variant that he's looking for is actually him. So I'm interested to see what exactly that's going to mean, because honestly, one of the things that I thought of was there's this movie called The One by Jet Li, and I mean, I haven't seen it in a long time, but if I remember correctly, in that movie Jet Li, there's like different versions of himself, and he jumps from like different worlds to kill every version of himself until he becomes the one sole version. And in that one, like, when the film, like, whenever he kills someone, like, he basically has superpowers, because, you know, he's destroying all these different versions of himself. I'm not saying that's gonna happen here, but I mean, oh no, that's also another thing that happened in Secret Wars, with Molecule Man and Doctor Doom. But that's neither here nor there. But anyways, or it might be, I'm not sure. But anyways, so I feel like that's gonna be the main going through of the show, and the main thing that caught my attention, well, I don't want to get my hopes up because because, you know, with WandaVision I got my hopes up so high, and I kept talking about like all these things that could happen, and in the end really none of them happened, which, I mean, it's fine because, you know, we were never promised these things, but I really feel like this is finally where they can possibly introduce he who will not be named. But because it's almost obvious, because whenever they introduce the character of Agent Morbus, you know, he's basically a detective, and he's investigating an attack on the Minutemen, and he talks to a kid, but they're in France in the 1500s, and every now and then he throws out some English, and it seems like the kid understands him, but he talks to him, and he's like, "Who did this?" And the kid points like at a stained glass window, and it has "He who will not be named" on it. And I feel like that is the most obvious way they can put it, but I'm not gonna say that's what it is, because if he's really chasing Loki, it could just be Loki, and that's just how they're gonna portray him, because he has powers and he does a lot of mischievous, evil things. And then it's the 1500s, you know, is a different time period. If in those times, if a woman was smart, they would consider her a witch. So I'm not gonna get my hopes up and say that they're really gonna introduce he who will not be named. So it was interesting to see how they introduced the TVA, because, you know, of course they apprehend Loki at the beginning, and we get to see some of their technologies. Like, they have this little gadget that can basically warp and reset you, and then they put on like a collar to restrain you. And it was very strange because from the beginning, Loki is in possession of the Tesseract. They take it from him and they put him through all these different checks. Like, he loses his clothes, he has to sign off on a bill of papers of everything he's ever said, which, mind you, I feel was a pretty small stack given he's lived thousands of years, but whatever. And then he has to go through like this metal detector to see if he's a robot, which makes me ask why. Because like, why? Like, are they checked? Like, what purpose do they have to do that? And it makes me wonder if that's something that we're gonna come back to later. Because what if that has something to do with the LMDs, life model decoys, or whatever? But anyways, and then he has to stand trial, and he admits guilt, and that's when he meets Agent Morbus, and Agent Morbus tells him everything about the case. And they also share some very good scenes because Agent Morbus is played by Owen Wilson, who I'm still coming to terms with because that's not how I'm used to seeing Owen Wilson. Because I haven't seen a lot of Owen Wilson, but I'm used to like the long blonde hair and this Owen Wilson mustache and short gray hair, because of course he's older and I haven't seen him in a long time and I haven't really seen too much of him. So it took me a while to realize that it was actually him. So Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston share some great scenes because there's a scene where he's trying to get to know Loki, but it also serves as like a breakdown / deconstruction of his character, where he says that he's trying to see what makes him tick, and he goes through like different things in his life. And it was just like a really great scene because, you know, you have these two actors that you don't typically see in something like this, and just to see them have like a great chemistry was really something. And then just seeing the character of Loki react and see him in a different light that we haven't really seen him in was kind of refreshing, but it was also kind of heartbreaking. And fast forward to the second scene where it's just Loki by himself, seeing the timeline of his life, you know, seeing that he was actually accepted, and that he comes to learn that all these people that he felt that he needed to prove something to actually always accepted him and appreciated having him around. Like whenever Thor, that elevator scene from Thor Ragnarok where Thor's like, Loki, I thought the world of you. Or whenever he sees Odin die and Odin calls him his son. And like, it's stuff like that, you know, kind of breaks your heart, because the fact that this is the kind of stuff that meant so much to him, and you know, he sees that they acknowledge him in the future, and you know, just seeing him play out his life, well, see what will become of his life, and it just breaks my heart more because Agent Morbus, I believe, right after he's finished seeing the tape of his file or whatever, Agent Morbus tells him that Loki is like one of those rare cases where his file is always destined to be that way. So basically there won't be much change in like the other timelines that have to deal with Loki or something like that. But I could have just misinterpreted it, but that's kind of what I got from it. But yeah, so then the episode, another thing is that whenever the episode ends, we see the Minutemen go to investigate another case, and they're killed by being set on fire, and the little timeline reset bomb thing that the Minutemen use, they don't get to use it because the hooded figure, which Loki, I guess, takes it. So I wonder what this person is going to do with it. And I wonder also if they're gonna take this from the comics, because in the comics, there's been more than one Loki. Like there's been a Loki who's a woman. There's been Loki who's like a little kid. So I'm wondering like how that's gonna tie into the Loki that we know now, and if they're just gonna set up a Loki versus Loki fight. But I feel like that'd be a little tiresome, because we just got Vision versus Vision in WandaVision, and of course in Endgame we got Captain America versus Captain America. So I'm not sure if I'm ready for Loki versus Loki. I feel like it's at this point it's kind of already been done, and it's kind of something that we're expecting. So all in all, great episode. I'm curious to see where it goes, and yeah, I'm kind of wondering how the TVA is going to handle, what their role is going to be in the greater MCU, because the TVA are basically set up as these time cops, and we kind of get an idea of their power level because Loki is trapped in their plane, world, realm, whatever, and his magic doesn't work there. The Infinity Stones don't work there. So I guess we kind of have an idea of how powerful these people are, or how strong their magic, illusion, whatever is. So I'm curious to see what's going to become of all this. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to get too far into theories, because like I said, I don't want to just spit a bunch of stuff out and then just be completely wrong as I was in WandaVision. So I guess I'll just end it here. This has been all over the place, but thanks for watching. My name is Alex. This is Beyond the Real, and I'll be doing this show week by week. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. Looking forward to it. I hope you enjoy it if you do watch Loki, and come back for more.